Greetings everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to do an episode tonight, my favorite and least favorite song on every Van Halen album. I've done videos like this before. I might have even done Van Halen before, I don't remember, but even if I did, I'm going to do it again. CD guy's been doing a lot of videos like this lately, and I think they're a lot of fun. So I've been listening to a lot of Van Halen lately, so I've got the great mighty Van Halen on the mind. So we're going to go through every studio album. I'm going to give you my personal favorite and least favorite song from each one. And I decided to make this difficult on myself, and I'm not going to allow myself to cop out with any instrumentals for a least favorite. If one happens to be a favorite, that's one thing, but I'm not going to cop out and say Tora Tora is my least favorite on Women and Children First or anything like that. I'm actually going to pick a song. So let's dive into this, starting with the very first Van Halen album, Van Halen 1. I love all these David Lee Roth albums, honestly. I mean, they're all just about perfect albums to me. And there's so many great songs here on the first one. Ain't Talking About Love, I'm the One, which just freaking rips. Little Dreamer to me has always been kind of the dark horse on this album. But I'm going to have to go with Running with the Devil as my favorite. It's the first Van Halen song I ever heard. And it might not be the band's flashiest song. It's not got Eddie's flashiest playing, but it's just a really good classic rock song. Love the riff, love the solo, everything. Run with the Devil, great song. My least favorite on here has kind of always been Jamie's Crying. I don't think it's a bad song. I just don't like it as much as the other songs. So Jamie's Crying is going to be my least favorite. Next we've got Van Halen 2. Another great album. Favorite song on here. Over the years, I've had a lot of different songs on this one be my favorites. It was Somebody Get Me a Doctor at one point. It was Bottoms Up at one point. DOA for a while. But lately, I'm feeling Light Up the Sky. I love that song. It's another just ripping tune. I also love the middle section of the song, the "Ooh, Mama, see the firelight." That's an awesome part. Least favorite, since I can't pick Spanish Fly, and honestly, I don't think I would pick Spanish Fly anyway. I'm gonna say You're No Good. It's a decent cover. It's kind of an odd opener. It's just kind of slow, moody way to start this album, and it's a good song. It's a good cover. I have nothing against it, but it's just going up against a lot of other great songs. So I'm gonna pick You're No Good as my least favorite from Van Halen 2. Next up, we have Women and Children First. Solid album. My favorite on here, I've always loved In the Cradle Will Rock. I could pick almost any song on this album, really. I mean, Everybody Wants Some, Fools, Romeo Delight, Take Your Whiskey Home, in a simple rhyme. But I always go back to In the Cradle Will Rock on this one. I think it's a great song. And my least favorite on here, since I can't pick Tora Tora, I would have to say it's Loss of Control. When I first got this album, when I first heard Loss of Control, I didn't care for it. I've grown to love it. I think it's a great song now. It's just not quite, I don't love it quite as much as the other 7 songs on here. So Loss of Control, while it's still a great song, is going to be my least favorite. Next up, we have Fair Warning. Fantastic album. This is, I love all of these Roth albums. All of these Roth albums are amongst my favorite albums of all time. Fair Warning, though, may be the one that had the biggest impact on me when I first got it. I will never, ever forget the day that I got this album, because my 12-year-old mind was blown away the instant I heard Mean Street coming through my speakers. And speaking of Mean Street, I gotta say it's my favorite song on here. Sinner Swing and Unchained are really close, but Mean Street's just got it all. I love that guitar solo at the beginning of the song that fades in. The riff is incredible. David Lee Roth's dark and gritty lyrics, just everything about Mean Street is absolutely on fire. My least favorite song on here, Hmm. When I first got this album, I wasn't a big fan of Push Comes to Shove. That one took me some time to get into. I like it now. I think it's a good song. Um, I've always felt So This Is Love. While it's a good song, I always felt like it doesn't really fit this album. And Dirty Movies to me is another one that is probably one of my lesser favorites, though I still love it. It's one of those three. I think I'll pick. I think I'll pick Dirty Movies. Still a great song though. All these rock albums, even my least favorites, I still love. There's not a single track on these first six Van Halen albums that I don't like. So keep that in mind when I pick something as my least favorite. Next up, we have Diver Down, another album that I love. I'm a much bigger fan of this than most are. I put this. This has been a long time favorite album of mine. And as much of an impact as Fair Warning had on me, Diver Down was probably right behind it as far as albums that had an impact. I just remember getting this album and I was obsessed with it for a long, long time. My favorite song on here, probably have to say Hang 'em High. All the originals on here are incredible. Little Guitars, Secrets, The Full Bug. I love all those tracks. And even Where Have All the Good Times Gone is my favorite Van Halen cover of all time. I'm going to go Hang 'em High, just a ripping track. I love that one. Least favorite, again, since I can't pick an instrumental, and I wouldn't pick Cathedral or Intruder anyway, because I love both of those. Um, there's Little Guitar's intro, but that's still really cool, and I can't pick it anyway because it's an instrumental. So I'm down between Happy Trails, which is also kind of a cop out, but I do like Happy Trails. I think it's just a kind of fun little tongue-in-cheek way to end the album. I'll say Dancing in the Street is my least favorite. It's still the best version of that song I think I've ever heard, but it's my least favorite on the album. So, Dancing in the Street. Next up, we have 1984, another fantastic Van Halen album. I am not at all burnt out on the hits on this one. Jump, Panama, Hot for Teacher. I still play those ones all the time. They come on the radio. I crank them up. I am not burnt out on those songs in the least. In fact, my favorite song from this album is still Panama. I just love Panama. I do. And honestly, Jump's right behind it. I think Jump's a great song. My least favorite, since I can't pick 1984, is probably actually Girl Gone Bad. I know a lot of people love that one. I love it too. I just, again, going up against the rest of these tracks, I prefer House of Pain. I prefer Top Jimmy. I prefer Drop Dead Legs. So it comes down to I'll Wait and Girl Gone Bad. I would just say Girl Gone Bad, but still, great song, great album, 1984. All right, now we're going to move into the Sammy Hagar era. And I don't love all these songs. Starting off with the ones that I do like. My favorite song on here, I have to go with the title track, 5150. Just such a good track. Nice riff from Eddie. And it's like the forgotten song on here. It's so weird. It's a title track, and you think generally title tracks are like somewhere toward the front of the album. It's usually one of the premier songs on an album. This one, it's buried. It's the penultimate track, and it like never seems to get talked about a lot, but I think it's a fantastic song. And I will say, I do like Dreams a lot too. Dreams is probably my second favorite on here. My least favorite, I'll tell you what, I never cared much for Best of Both Worlds. I'm not crazy about Good Enough. I'm not crazy about Get Up. But I cannot stand Summer Nights. I remember getting this album. This is the second Van Halen album that I ever bought after Van Halen 1. And I remember riding home, listening to this, and when Summer Nights came on, I got to that line where Sammy's talking about making love with the human toys, and I just clicked next. I'm like this, no. I can't. Dude, Sammy hate, like David Lee Roth, I don't want to get into this debate again, but I don't know. David Lee Roth is just such a great lyricist in my opinion, and Sammy can be good. He's got songs where he's very good. He's also got songs where his lyrics are horrible, and Summer Nights, in my opinion, is one of them. So Summer Nights is my least favorite on 5150. Next up, we've got OU812, my favorite song on here. Speaking of songs where Sammy Hagar's lyrics are incredible, Mine All Mine. I think his lyrics are great on that song. I think it's just a great song, keyboard and all. I think Mine All Mine is fantastic. My least favorite song on here, the cover, Apolitical Blues. Borderline unlistenable to me. Just terrible cover. Worst cover they've ever done, in my opinion. I'm just not buying Sammy's over the top bluesy singing on that. It I don't know, completely turns me off. And if it wasn't for Apolitical Blues, I'd probably say Sucker in a Three-Piece, because again, Sammy's lyrics on that are just horrendous. So Mine on Mine is my favorite, and Apolitical Blues is my least. Now I really think that this is where the Hagar years start coming into their own here. The band returns to a really hard rock and sound on For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, and I think aside from two tracks that I kind of think are duds and a few filler tunes, this album's pretty good actually. A lot of great songs on here. Pound Cake's really good. Judgment Day is amazing. Run Around. And I love the string of songs that this album ends on with Dream Is Over, Right Now, 316 and Top of the World. Dream Is Over is my favorite song on here. Just a super catchy chorus, great tune. Love Eddie's solo. My least favorite on here, again, Spanked. Sammy's lyrics are, again, not good. Pleasure Dome's the other one on here I'm not a big fan of. But Spanked, I think, is probably a little worse. So, my favorite is The Dream Is Over. My least favorite is Spanked. Now we're coming in on my personal favorite of the Hagar albums, 1995's Balance. I think this album is way overlooked. I love the tone on this album. It's just got such a rich guitar tone from Eddie. And it's a much darker album than the other Hagar albums. So my favorite song, I love the first four songs on here. Seventh Seal, Can't Stop Loving You, Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do, and Amsterdam, despite the Wham Bam Amsterdam, Stone You Like No One Else Can. Despite that, I still love that song. I have to say Can't Stop Loving You. I've just always had a soft spot for that song. I don't know why, but musically, I love it. I think Sammy's lyrics are really good. It doesn't come across to me like it's one of those, like, I don't think of it with the other love ballads from the Hagar era. I don't think of it like with When It's Love and Feel So Good and the songs like that. To me, Can't Stop Loving You is like in a different category. Love it musically. I think Sammy sings the heck out of it. Great song. Least favorite on here, again, I'm not picking instrumentals, or else I would probably go with Strung Out. I'm going to say Not Enough. It's okay. It's not great. That and Big Fat Money, but at least Big Fat Money kind of rocks a little bit. Once you get past those, I think the rest of this album is pretty good. So, I'm going to go with Not Enough as my least favorite. Can't Stop Loving You, my favorite. We've got 3 new songs on this one right here. We've got Humans Being, which was from the Twister soundtrack, plus 2 new songs with Diamond Dave, Can't Get This Stuff No More, and Me Wise Magic. My favorite of the 3 is Can't Get This Stuff No More. I have a feeling most people would pick one of the other 2, but I've always loved Can't Get This Stuff No More. I don't know what about that. I don't know what it is about it. I just think it's a cool song. My least favorite is actually Me Wise Magic. And it's not bad, but versus Humans Being, I actually do prefer Humans Being, even though I'm more of a Dave guy. I think head-to-head, I would take Humans Being in that instance. So, my favorite is Can't Get This Stuff No More. My least favorite, Me Wise Magic. Alright, next up we've got Van Halen 3. My favorite, by far, is Without You. And I'd even throw New World in there with it. The only song that would come close is not on the album. That's Why I Love You. The worst song on here, again, actually, kind of by far, is How Many Say I. Atrocious. Sorry, Eddie. I hate to say that to the one song that Eddie Van Halen sang, but Eddie Van Halen shouldn't sing. Not lead, anyway. And, yeah. Not a good song, unfortunately. Alright, next up we've got The Best of Both Worlds. Got 3 new songs on here to talk about. It's About Time, Up for Breakfast, and Learning to See. Quite honestly, I'm not a big fan of any of these, but I think the best of the three is probably Learning to See. Um, I only saw Van Halen one time, and it was on this tour with Sammy Hagar, um, and they played all three of those new songs on here. And when they played "Learning to See" live, I really actually liked it. I thought it was good. The studio version didn't come across as well for me for some reason. Can't pinpoint it, but it's the best of the three songs here. The worst is "Up for Breakfast." I don't. I guess I don't need to. I don't need a song about Sammy Hagar buttering his biscuits, so I'm gonna have to pick that as my least favorite on here. And finally, we have A Different Kind of Truth, the band's last album, the return of Diamond David Lee Roth. My favorite song on here, as is Barn Burner of a song. I would put that up there with anything from the Six Pack. I think that is fantastic, top notch, top shelf Van Halen. I love Eddie's ferocious riff in that song. I love Dave's lyrics, the whole song. The band's on point. I can't say enough good things about As Is. I think it's incredible. My least favorite song on here, there's a couple. I don't dislike anything on here, but there's a couple that I just don't like as much as probably the rest of the Roth era, I guess. They would be Tattoo, Honey Baby Sweetie Doll, The Trouble with Never, and Beats Workin'. My least favorite, probably The Trouble with Never. Again, not terrible, just not really a favorite. So there you have it. As Is, my favorite on there. The Trouble with Never, my least favorite. So there are my favorite and least favorite song on every Van Halen album. Please leave me a comment below, letting me know your favorite song and least favorite song from every Van Halen album. Keep in mind, this is all just my opinion. If you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this in the future, and I will catch you next time.